Hey, what's going on, guys? ETP coming at you guys with another video today, and this has been probably the most eventful night in NBA free agency history. Man, this has just been crazy. DeAndre Jordan has now decided that he is going to decommit from signing with the Mavericks, and he will be heading back to the Clippers. And man, this has just been completely insane. I'm just going to get into my thoughts about this in a second. But basically what happened was he was having second thoughts, so he called up Doc Rivers and Chris Paul and Blake and everybody, and they ended up having a meeting at his home in Houston. So everybody, Blake Griffin, Doc Rivers, JJ Redick, Chris Paul left his vacation in the Bahamas to come to this meeting, and they have just like the entire Clippers organization, it seems like, in DeAndre's house doing this meeting. And apparently they swayed him into deciding he was going to re-sign with the Clippers. So at this time, it's 11 o'clock Eastern time right now when I'm recording this video. So it's in an hour, you're going to be able to officially sign free agents. So the Clippers are still waiting at DeAndre Jordan's house. They have been there since, I don't know, a couple hours ago, I think. And they have, they had the meeting early in the afternoon, so they've been at his house pretty much all day long. And they're staying there all the way up until midnight to assure that they sign him to a contract right then. And this has just been, it's been absolutely crazy, all the reports that have come out. They've basically been keeping him hostage. Obviously, they're not really keeping him hostage, but it definitely seems that way, and it's absolutely hilarious. If you guys want a good laugh and you're watching this video right now, or if you're just watching this, tomorrow morning or something, you can just go on Twitter and look at the hashtag LAC Slumber Party. Man, if you want a good laugh, check out that hashtag because it was absolutely hilarious. I was just scrolling through there completely dying at some of those memes. It was so funny. But basically, I'm going to get into my thoughts right now on why or what I think about DeAndre Jordan decommitting from the Mavericks and deciding to re-sign with LA. So, personally, I don't agree with it at all. I think it's completely ridiculous. I'm not a Mavericks fan or anything, but I do think it's ridiculous that he committed to signing with them and now he's decommitting right before the free agency period really gets going, when you can officially sign contracts. What he did basically completely destroyed the Mavericks' plans for the offseason. Obviously, they signed Wes Matthews, they signed DeAndre Jordan, or at least they think they signed DeAndre Jordan, and they're set. So they're basically done. They're not going after David West. They're not doing any of that stuff. They don't really need anyone else because they got DeAndre Jordan, and they lock up all their cap space. So they can't really do too much. They can't go after their much-needed point guard because they don't think they're going to have the cap space available. Now at the last second, DeAndre decides, okay, yeah, I'm not going to sign with the Mavericks. And now at this point, the Mavericks, Jeremy Lin just signed with the Hornets. They're not going to be able to sign him now. A bunch of other guards are off the board. Lou Williams is off the board. They're basically in a terrible situation at this point, and I don't really know who their center is going to be. People could think maybe they go after Roy Hibbert, but now it seems like Hibbert's that's almost a done deal that he's going to be traded to the Lakers. So it's just a really bad situation for the Mavericks at this point, where they now lose a huge player in the front court that they need to fill a hole there now, after losing Tyson Chandler as well. And now they still need to get a point guard, but a lot of the point guards are off the board, so they're not in a very good situation. And I just don't agree with what he did. It's just like I compare it to kids getting recruited out of high school to play college basketball. If you commit, even if you verbally commit, I know, verbal commitment, that couldn't mean much, obviously, but if you verbally commit to a school, you should not decommit from the school unless you have a very, very legitimate reason. I don't consider just changing your mind at the last second as a legitimate reason to decommit. Even if, I personally think that staying with the Clippers is the best decision for DeAndre Jordan. I don't really know why he committed to the Mavericks in the first place, but you should stick with your commitment unless something big comes up. For example, like Shaka Smart, the VCU head coach, or former VCU head coach, I don't blame any of the kids that decommitted from VCU for decommitting, because he went on to get a new job and there's no need. If you're recruited by a coach and then he leaves, I hold nothing against you if you decommit. Same for like personal reasons. Maybe you have family, you need to be somewhere else, or something comes up with like playing time where another recruit comes in and takes, they're at your position. All that stuff is kind of like a legitimate reason, but just changing your mind isn't really a legitimate reason, and I think that's kind of almost a dirty move. I mean, I know you're supposed to look out for yourself in this situation, obviously, but that's a little bit of a dirty move, and that kind of leaves the Mavericks in a very tough spot. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see what they decide to do, because before they signed DeAndre Jordan, or right after they signed DeAndre Jordan, Mark Cuban said if they hadn't have signed him, then they were going to tank. And now, obviously, they're not going to have DeAndre Jordan. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. At the point guard position as well as in the front court, they're kind of, they definitely have some big holes now. Their only hole, while they thought they had DeAndre, was at the point guard position. Now they have a glaring hole at the point guard position and at the center position. So we'll see what they have to do. We'll see what they do end up doing, and hopefully everything turns out okay for them. But on the Clippers side, this is perfect. They signed Paul Pierce. Now they're going to get DeAndre. The Clippers are going to be in sure contention for the championship next year. DeAndre Jordan was kind of the piece that teetered on whether they were going to be able to contend or not. Without him, the Clippers would not have had a chance at the championship, in my opinion, unless they just pulled off some type of miraculous upset. But now that they have him, along with some of the new pieces they've added, they're in pretty good shape. I still don't see – I see them probably getting the 3 or 4 seed now in the West. I guess 3 seed. I have to put San Antonio and Golden State up there at the top because they're obviously going to be loaded as well. But we'll just have to see, and I think it's very, very interesting. So that brings me to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this. What do you think about DeAndre deciding to turn back on his commitment to the Mavericks? Do you think that was right or wrong? What are your feelings on what the Mavericks are going to do? Just let me know all that stuff down in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.